So I want to talk about caregivers and their absolute vital role in supporting someone with a chronic illness. When I started the kidney transplant process, you have to identify a support person, and that's a person that brings you to visits, answers phone calls, is there on your social work calls, and they're there pretty much for everything. So obviously my wife Ashley is my support person, and sometimes when someone's going through a disease, a sickness, a lot of times the focus gets on the person who's going through that, and that caregiver, usually it's one person or multiple people, they kind of get overlooked in the process, and it's not really realized how much that they have to deal with. They're answering questions about what's going on, and they're probably constantly asked, how is such and such doing? And a lot of times, no one asks them how they're processing. Also, on top of that, if your caregiver is a spouse, they have that extra burden of, if this thing goes south or it doesn't work out in the best way, then now all of that burden on that family is on them. So that fear, that anxiety is always in the back of their head. And especially in a disease like that I'm dealing with, where it's just this long drawn out process. IgA nephropathy can last 20 years till you get to the place that I'm at. I don't know when this started. It was identified at 10 years ago. And so it's been 10 years, and now I'm at end stage kidney failure. So, this could have been in my body long before that. It is a disease that affects usually younger people, and all of that I've read, there's not really identification of why. But back to the caretaker is, they have to be there every day. And, there may be people surrounding this issue and know what's going on, but they get to see the darkest days. I know for myself, there's days when, I'm, like I talked last time about, I'm depressed, I'm down, I'm in my head, I'm focused on the worst, and she has to be there, and she sees that, and she sees all of the worst, the things that no one else sees, and she protects the kids and everyone else from that. So a caregiver really gives a tremendous amount, and sometimes it's not recognized how much they give, and how much they sacrifice, and how much they suffer in silence, because they're there supporting the person suffering or with a sickness, but in the background they have their own battles and sufferings and worries and concerns. And when you see someone struggling, in pain, and you can't fix it, and you're there every single day of the process, it can be a heavy load. And I would just say, if you know someone that's a caregiver, ask them how they're feeling, ask them how they're doing, because I feel pretty sure that they're struggling with something, and they're having to be strong, for their family, for their kids, for everyone that's asking questions. And a lot of times they're coordinating different things to support that person, and they're taking on extra burdens at the house with things that, you say I would normally do, she's having to do, and that happens for many people. They're picking up the load of their partner, of that person that they're supporting through that illness, disease. And it's really, I know it's challenging, and I know that I am challenging dealing with these things, because, every day is not the best day, and I try to hold it together, and then, and so when you have that support person, that caregiver, you're sharing with them what's the difficult parts. So it's a tremendously heavy burden, and it goes unrecognized a lot of times when someone's dealing with that, because they're, they may support through that whole process and be there, and then when the outcome is not the best, then they have to pick up the pieces. So, I just wanted to acknowledge that. I want to acknowledge my wife and everything that she does. And there's nothing I can do to ever repay the work that she does. And I know there's many other people out there that are taking care of someone. Maybe it's a parent, a husband, a wife, child, and it can be a lonely place. But I am very thankful for the caretakers. I'm thankful for my wife and what she does for me on a day in, day out basis, hour by hour, minute by minute. She's supporting me, and I could not do this journey without her. And so I wanted to bring attention to that today, because it's not all about me. There's many other people that hurt because of this. And sometimes it goes unnoticed. But thank you all for listening.